This meeting is being recorded.
Hey everyone, and today I'm joined by two lovely individuals, Selina and Chris, and we're going to be talking about their experience with us up until now. And so I've had the pleasure to get to know these lovely ladies over the last couple of years and work with their advisor, Anthony, on getting them where they are today. Now, we're here to speak about, them taking the leap of faith to work with us, and how they're feeling about their finances today. So before we get started, how are you, ladies?
Yeah, good. Good, thanks.
Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
Thank you, John.
That's it. Now, I remember obviously you guys starting to, explore working with us, and I can remember the conversations that we've had. But maybe before I go into it a little bit, did maybe one of you just want to explain to everyone just a little bit about, you guys, like, where he's at in your life stage, all of that stuff? Yeah.
Sure. So my name's Christina, and so I'm with Selina, obviously. So she's my wife for just over 2 years. Mm-hmm. And so we've been together for 4 years now. Mm-hmm. And we're at the stage of our lives where we're looking towards retirement, actually. So we are quite young. I am 30 and Selina is 41, bless her Asian genes. And so
Tell me about it. I need some of that.
So we're looking to figure out how can we retire early, essentially, and we just didn't have the tools to help us get there. And one of the reasons why I wanted to engage with you guys was just to understand, okay, what are we doing now that we could be doing better, or strategies that we're not necessarily aware of to help us accelerate that growth.
Yeah. I think also it's more like when we got together, we were trying to combine our finances, and we weren't sure how to go about it. And we're at different life stages, obviously, because of the age gap. And for me, it's always been buy a property, stay in it, new townhouse, 1 year, sell, take the equity, move on to the next. And I just basically ran with that, snowballing it. And I was at an age where I'm like, right, this is something that works for me. But obviously I can't do that being married and establishing a home for us. I wasn't single anymore, and I couldn't just up and sell and move on from there. So I think we were butting heads a bit with how we would go on in this next stage in our financial journey together. It was basically forging a single path together.
And I remember that, and I'll tell everyone, because you guys won't say this. Both of you came to me with not, I would say, a basic financial knowledge base. You guys both came with well-rounded, and you kind of knew very much what you guys were doing. But I think what worked really well was exactly what you said, Selina, that we worked together to kind of say, okay, well, this is what one person's journey has looked like. This is what another person's journey looked like, and they've found common ground. And, from my outside experience, obviously, I've connected with you guys socially, and it's been lovely to see that has also blossomed, like the relationship has blossomed as much as the finances have blossomed. And I think they kind of work in tandem with one another. Yeah. So, for me, seeing you guys, I clearly saw that. And I think the other thing for me was around, I could also see that there was capping in regards to your knowledge in certain areas. So being able to work with you guys on that and identify that and build the pathway and reshape it, was really, really good. And obviously Anthony, who's your advisor as well too, has been an absolute blessing. I think he's worked really well from a personality perspective as well, to really kind of, dot his I's and cross his T's and make sure that we're pushing ahead, which was really good as well too. Now, when you now look back at that, and you look where you guys are today, do you feel different about your finances, or what do you now feel about it? I might start with you, Christina.
I feel more like comfortable where we're going. And the thing is, some of these strategies, yes, they're known, and we could do it without your support, but that's not what we see the value. The value we see is the accountability. So, making sure that we're still putting in, the salary sacrifice, or, putting in money into ETFs.
Yeah.
also it's also having that ability to have those insurances, because I know that was a big thing for me coming on, was just making sure that we had those insurances, so that income protection, for example, and TPD, making sure that the level was sufficient. And so it's just now I feel a lot more peace. It's the peace of mind essentially is what we're paying for, and you cannot put a price to that.
Yeah, and I think that's very, and thank you very much for saying that. That's very, very humbling, and it's what obviously we aim to do. And I think you made a point in regards to, like, from my perspective, all these pieces in this puzzle. And so when you think about this plan that we're trying to execute on it, go on those annual holidays, enjoy our life, be fulfilled, and then kind of marry that up with still trying to create wealth and still trying to make sure all the tick boxes are done. I think that marrying those two together and making sure they're all ticked, and then you've got that peace of mind. Yep, our protection sorted out. Yep, our tomorrow sorted out. Yep, our certain things, while still not feeling guilty about, oh, we're going to go on that cheeky, holiday where we've got to go. That must feel quite good. And I know, Selina, we were talking offline about the love of holidays, but for you, that also must feel nice, even obviously from your partner saying that as well too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are so many obstacles in life to navigate through, and that's just one less thing to worry about. And right now, our only worries are like, what we having next for our next meal, or
which restaurant we're going to,
how we planning our holidays, but also like in regards to like our properties and all that, just dealing with the real estate agent and not dealing with the numbers, and just being able to get on top of things without having to worry about the future, as you mentioned, because we know that that's all been set up for us.
Yeah. And I must admit, from my side of things, and obviously I work very closely with Anthony in regards to your plan, I must admit that, I'm very excited for what's to come, and I try and not let the cat out the bag too much. I try to kind of keep a lid on it a little bit, but, for this intensive purpose, I want to be open and honest. Like, I am very excited and very optimistic about your plan. And the reason why is because I see what you talked about before, Christina, around that accountability. Like, the people that bring that accountability and understand it and appreciate it, we're chipping away to this amazing future that's going to be realized by having that relationship. And like you both know, like when it comes to property, you guys are well versed in regards to property, you're well versed in certain areas, but it's also the reason why I have a financial advisor, and me and you share that financial advisor, which is Anthony. It's to keep us accountable. Me and my wife with our own money are emotionally connected to it. Oh, that looks nice. Should we go off and buy that and go down that direction? Yeah. But having someone to kind of bring you back a little bit and say, do you really want it? And just having that, do you really want that? Is that trade-off that you want to make? So, I see really amazing things that's going to happen, but I think that accountability, that clarity, and then obviously that peace of mind, and also taking, Selina, like you said, I've taken that kind of weight off your shoulders of the time to having to look after the stuff, keep up to date with what's going on. And I know probably another point that I would like to discuss is I know you guys are really loving the educational side of what we offer as well too. And, it was one of the big things that we spoke about, and you were part of a feedback group where you were like, John, just, give us all in regards to the education. How are you finding the education side of the business, Christina? And then obviously over to you, Selina.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tools that you guys provide, one being the Facebook group. And it's really great to see posts being made by other members, and just some of those questions I've had and I just haven't got around to asking, and that's been a great tool to just to have a look at what other people are asking, and the questions are similar to mine. And another tool that's been really valuable is just the videos, whether that's the Monday videos or like what we've just done recently, which was the RBA debrief. So it was really good to it's really good to have those opportunities to just touch base with you guys, see what's happening in the world. You guys explain it in such a way that I feel like even myself, who doesn't really have much of an economic background, I can understand and follow. And you release them in a frequent manner, so it's like not something I have to follow every day, but it's a good snapshot of what's happened in the last week. And I've got to say, I enjoyed the RBA debrief video because it was interesting to see that it didn't pan out exactly how you guys had led to believe. So it was interesting to see, okay, like what are the different factors? And one of the comments that stood out to me was actually by Mason, where he said, actually looking back, it now makes sense why they raised the rates. So, it's good to see that, you guys aren't right all the time or wrong,
Correct. And this is the thing, like forecasting and outlooks are very, very hard to kind of predict. And it's one of the things that we will never come out and say, hey guys, we know exactly what's going to happen. This is how it's going to pan out. And when you look at the last RBA update, and as we're recording this, it's May 2023, just for everyone to know, the rate rise that just happened, it was a shock to everyone. And if you think about this, it's on the ASX kind of RBA rate indicator, there was 100% of economists saying that there was going to be no rate rise. So very, very unlikely move that happened, but that's the market. These things happen, and it's around, like you said, being able to break that down in a digestible way to say, okay, well, now it's gone unexpected. Well, what does that actually mean? Yeah, because you can just have data, and we're just overwhelmed with information and data in today's day and age. But it's around, what do you do with that data? How do you break that down? And then what does that mean? Yeah, so I appreciate that. And it's definitely something that we've really got a passion for, to keep you guys informed, because we know that if we keep you informed, we cut through a lot of the noise that you might hear outside of this. Yeah. And also, there was like a comment that was made around, interest rates getting to, absolute, historic levels. And we had to break that down because there's a lot of fear mongering going on. There's a lot of, other stuff. So, and because when it comes to wealth creation, there's a lot of emotion involved. Okay. You can do as much of a great plan as possible, but the thing that usually ruins it is when the emotions get the better of you and you start making illogical decisions. So I really appreciate that feedback. Now, Selina, at the start, I probably would have had to twist your arm to get involved in listening to my stuff, but are you involved now in listening?
I have to be honest with you, I'm not really listening in on the educational parts, but where it does pique my interest, I get Christina to summarize it for me.
Yeah, awesome.
You mentioned about cutting through all the information. I get her to cut it down even more for me.
Oh, awesome.
Explain
so
it to me like an 11-year-old.
I do the RBA debrief, and then Christina does a summarized version of the debrief.
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah. And I think that's a really good point. And in all couple relationship, there's always someone who's got different ways of kind of consuming the information that they want, and how that kind of works as well too. So it's really good to know that. But from me,
sorry, John, can I just add one more thing?
Yeah, okay.
So there's another resource that I do use that you put out, which is the Cash Talk podcast.
Yeah.
And so they've been really, really good to listen to because you have a range of different guests that have different backgrounds. Like it's not necessarily all finance related. I know you and I are quite aligned in our philosophy around behavioral psychology when it comes to money. And so like I really enjoy listening to those sort of conversations. So yeah, definitely something I really like to hear more about. Yeah, if we can get more podcasts out.
There are. You're probably up to date. I've got 3 more in the waiting list that I'm due to upload over the weekend. So I've got some more coming. But I think that's actually another good point. One of the big things as well too is around the mindset. And I think both of you, for me being honest, you do have very similar but also very different mindsets when it comes to money. Okay. And that's okay. Everyone does. Everyone comes in, they're exactly the same. But where my fascination around behavioral finance and money mindset and all of that happens is because if we can allow individuals or couples to be able to break through those invisible ceilings, they will reach feats that they've never dreamed of before. Yeah. And it's, for example, let's say Selina is very comfortable with investing in property, but she may be very apprehensive with investing in shares. There's a kind of there's a wall that is not allowing her to kind of break through that. So how can we work with Selina to be able to address that? But that might be the opposite where it comes to Christina. Now, we have these problems all the time. We see individuals fail because they can't break through these ceilings. So yeah, Christina, I share the passion about it because it's just so powerful. So, as you all can see, it's more than just money management. There's a lot of emotional kind of investing that's involved in being able to reach that mindset. You can throw in probably a money psychologist along the way. There's been a few divorces that I've been able to save. Me, yeah. There's been a few, teary times that we've shared with people, but, that's all a part of the job and that's what we love. But I just want to finish off on one note because I really appreciate you both giving me your time. If there was someone that was sitting there maybe thinking, are these guys the real deal? And, should I take the leap of faith? What would you maybe say to those people?
Selina, just for those that didn't know, or should or probably don't know, is that I really struggled to bring Selina along this journey, and I really had to convince her to see John, and it got to the point where we had probably one of our first big fights in our marriage. It was actually coming to see John. Selina, what did
I just was telling him I saved divorces. Now I'm causing fights.
Look, I think for me it was to be honest, the cost factor behind all of this, and I was very against it. I said, why do I need someone to tell me how to manage my money when I've been doing it fine all these years? And it also came to the point where like I was asset rich but cash poor, and I knew I had to do something about it. And I think it was after the initial meeting and Christina also saying, if you don't want to be involved with this, I'll pay for it. And I was like, fine, you can pay for it. And
I like that. Thanks,
but when it slowly when I let I think when I let my guard down and slowly accepted the idea and realized that there's tax deductions, and also the plan that you gave us was really the plan that we wanted to get on board with, like investing outside of properties, away from properties, and still have that backup buffer and all that. That's when I realized, oh, okay, this is like the plan that I want for myself, but it's clearer, and you've taken all the guesswork out for me, and I saw the value in that, and that's when I became a convert. So every time we see friends in positions like us, I always say to them, get yourself a financial advisor. Just do it.
Oh, well, that's a great tip. So, and I think that's a bigger hurdle for a lot of people. Like a lot of people see the investment in a financial advisor as a cost. Yeah, they don't see it as an investment like a personal trainer. And I constantly say to people, like, if you want to win, I don't know, a bodybuilding competition, or you want to go be an elite athlete, you're going to have to probably get a coach to enable you to just take it up that extra level. And it's that extra level that makes the difference over time. So thank you very much for sharing that, because I think the people that are maybe apprehensive will learn a little bit from your story that you just shared. And Chris, I think there's flowers or something that are coming your way for twisting her arm to make sure it happens. But
she'll take chocolates.
Yeah, chocolates. All right, we'll have to talk offline about which ones it is. Do you have anything quickly to share before we wrap things up, Christina, for maybe the ones that are a little bit apprehensive to jump on board?
Yeah, so look, there's different facets to financial advice. And one thing that we haven't really touched on, which has been a huge help, and we can't thank you guys enough, was actually around, looking at refinancing our properties. And that's not something that was not something that was easy, and we were trying for many years and different people, and nobody could actually help us. And Anthony, bless him, managed to get it done like this, and we were just like, oh my god, this is the value of their services 10 times over. Thanks.
That's really good.
And it's also because you have everything in-house, the mortgage brokering and
insurance, the financial planning.
Exactly. And this goes back to taking the equity out of one of my investment property. Everyone has said, oh, take the equity out. I was like, I have not met anyone who's been able to take the equity out of my investment property, and or any mortgage broker for that fact. And it was only Anthony who came along. He did that in one go, and yeah.
And you made a topic which is very important for people to know. I think when we look at people's finances, we're not looking at it with one eye closed. We're looking at it with both eyes open. And by able to move that piece, to make that piece happen, to make that piece happen, to move that over there, by having this structure that obviously I've designed over the last 14, 15 years, has been able to do that. So when a client wants to make a decision, if they want to buy a house, which is usually a big one, or they want to go, you know, spend on a wedding or whatever's the case going to be, we know what ricochets across the board. How does that affect their debt? How does that affect their cash flow? What does that mean for their protection? What does that mean for their retirement goals? And for the people that are maybe wanting to see someone who they're just going to look after this, just say their super, or just look after their insurance, or just look after that, well, are those people really doing the right job? Because they're looking at your finances with your one eye closed. So very, very good thing to share. And I'm glad that we've had such great runs on the board so quickly in our relationship. And it's going to be exciting to see where we are 5-10 years from now.
We're
we
excited.
can't wait. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
it. Awesome. Now, ladies, thank you very much for sharing your story. For everyone else, hopefully you got a lot of value out of that. And thanks once again. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks.